May it please the court, opposing counsel, and members of the jury. In a case like this, nobody wins. A little girl is dead, and nothing done here can bring her back. The best we can do is not send an innocent man behind bars and take his last remaining grandchild and throw her into the system without any remaining family. I'm joined together, my name is Eric Olney. I'm joined together by my co-counsel of Sammy Clark and Leah Bracy. And today we begin with the story of a small girl named Abby. After many fits of painful coughing, her grandfather took her to a local clinic where she saw a doctor by the name of Dr. Payne. There they showed her sister's prescription cough medicine, 2 snaps. Oh my God. One more time. We began with a sick little girl by the name of Abby. After many fits of painful coughing, her grandfather took her to gave her sister's prescription of cough medicine, 2 snaps. The following day, Sam Oddington took Abby to a clinic. There she met Dr. Payne, and there they were told by the good doctor to continue using the medication, and that it was just a common cold. The next day, Abby died in her grandfather's arms with pneumonia-like symptoms. We will prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Sam Oddington was not responsible for the death of Abby. We will show you that Dr. Payne is the man responsible for the death due to gross incompetence. We will show you that Detective Chris Cross failed to lead a proper investigation on the doctor and lazily gave up. We will show you that Dr. Payne even tried to change the medical records of the young girl. But most of all, we will show you that Abby was treated wrongly and misdiagnosed. Men and women of the jury, please do not send Mr. Oddington to prison. The only mistake he ever made was following that incompetent doctor's orders. If Oddington is convicted, it will be a gross misconduct of justice, and his grandchild will ultimately be made an orphan. Truly a tragic chain of events. Good job, man.
Prosecution, would you like to call your first witness?
Yes, Your Honor, I'd like to call Detective Chris Cross to the stand. Would you please state your name for the jury?
My name is Christopher Cross.
And what's your occupation, Mr. Cross?
A detective sergeant at the Robbinsonville Police Department. Handle many criminal cases each day in my jurisdiction.
What kind of cases do you often handle?
Throughout my career, I've handled literally hundreds of felony cases, and I've handled 10 homicide cases that have led to convictions.
How are you particularly involved in this case?
Well, I was the lead investigator, and I investigated this case.
Your Honor, I would like to propose Detective Chris Cross as an expert witness in criminal justice.
Objections?
Objection. His case being an expert witness will not apply to this case because Miss Oddington, I can't do this. I'm so nervous.
Let's do it.
Okay, Chris Cross will be considered an expert witness in criminal justice.
How did you become involved in this homicide?
Well, in the early morning hours of October 1st, I was contacted by the emergency room physician, and he told me there was a suspicious death in a 2-year-old girl.
And what happened once you arrived at the emergency room?
Well, I came in there, I noticed there was only one person in the waiting room. I talked to the front desk staff from the hospital, and I went back because I realized they told me that the lady, the man in the hospital was Abby Oddington's caretaker. I questioned him, and all he was saying was, I can't believe I gave her that medicine. I shouldn't have done it. I told him to wait and not to leave because I still had more questions. I then went to talk to the emergency room physician. When I finished with him, I came back, and the waiting room was completely empty. Sam ran.
And in your years of experience, why would you think that Sam ran?
Well, years of experience have told me that guilty people run. And I mean, she obviously didn't care. He obviously didn't care about his granddaughter because he left a dead
Objection.
body.
Speculation. We don't know if he doesn't care for his grandchild.
Your response?
We're just merely trying to show that from his point of view.
Objection sustained. Move on.
Your Honor, I would like to approach Detective Chris Cross with Exhibit 1, which is the police report for this particular incident.
You may.
Could you please explain this, Mr. Cross?
This is my police incident report from it's my written documentation
Objection.
of
We
what
haven't
happened.
seen evidence.
Would you like to please show the exhibit to the opposing counsel?
Could you please explain this to the jury?
Well, this is my written timeline of what happened, and it has all the information about the case in it.
Could you tell the court what happened the day you put Sam in custody?
Well, I went to her house, his house, and he gave me written statement of what happened. I recorded that statement and I attached it to this incident report. And after reading it and listening to his information, I found out that he gave the 2-year-old girl, Abby, a narcotic cough medicine, and I searched the house for it. I later found that bottle, and the first thing I noticed on it was the warning label says, "Do not give it to anyone but the prescription holder," and it was prescribed to Abby's older sister.
Your Honor, I would like to reapproach the witness with Exhibit 2, which is Sam Odenton's statement.
You may.
Did you ever... Detective Cross, do you recognize this particular document?
Yes, this is Sam's written statement, and it describes what happened and her point of view, and it helped me get a general view of what happened for Abby to die. And
Your Honor, I would like to enter Exhibit 1 and 2 into evidence.
Objections? Okay, Exhibit 1 is in evidence.
Can we enter Exhibit 2? Yeah.
Any objections to Exhibit 2?
No.
Exhibit
2 is considered into evidence.
Detective Cross, did you ever speak with Sean Jose?
No, I have no idea who he or she is. I've never met that person or spoken to that person before.
What did your investigation of Dr. Payne reveal?
Well, I spoke to him on the phone to try to make an appointment to meet with him. Unfortunately, that never happened. But throughout my investigation, I found out through background information and my father-in-law that he was a trustworthy person and would never modify any medical records.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. One moment. Defense, would you like to cross-examine the witness?
Yes, Your Honor. How long have you been in the police force, Detective Cross?
A very long time, since I was 18.
And during this time, have you had any cases involving an overdose in a child?
No, I have not.
At the hospital where Abby was taken after passing, was Sam Oddington there?
Only for a short amount of time. I mean, she came there, and within 5 minutes that I was talking to the medical doctor, she ran off and left the deceased body there.
Why would a guilty person run back to their place of residence where the crime initially took place and you could easily find her there?
Well, she could have hidden evidence. She probably tightened up. The bottle of Tussinex was really hard to find. It was buried in the back of the medicine cabinet.
But it was where
It was
typically
filled.
medicine is, correct? In the medicine cabinet.
Yeah.
Okay. Once you arrived back at the home with the guilty, was he cooperative?
Somewhat. I mean, he was very cooperative when letting me in without a warrant, but other than that,
Did he not give you a written statement of what happened?
yes, he did, but
Now, can you say you personally know the Dr. Payne?
no, I've talked to him on the phone to try.
Why didn't you investigate him?
I looked up background information, but I had backing from my father-in-law.
But, when you never scheduled an appointment to see him, why was that?
Well, there's many criminal cases going on in Robinsonville, and this one was solved because I was never presented with any evidence to say that Dr. Payne was bad.
Okay. Well, no further questions, Your Honor.
Redirect.
No, Your Honor.
You may have a seat.